Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, bringing you another video on how to raise your vibration so you can live your best life. Welcome and happy new year. Happy new year. I'm so excited to be here to ring in this new year with you. It is amazing to be able to look back at the past year and all that we have accomplished together, everything that we have overcome and moved through. It is so beautiful and so amazing to look at this community and how much it has grown, to look at all of my clients and how far they have come, to look at this business and how we continue to gain momentum and move forward, and what beautiful and amazing things we are doing together. There is so much amazing goodness to come, and I'm so excited to ring in a new year together with you and to continue on this journey of building heaven on earth together. So I'm so excited to be here with you. I am deeply honored, honestly, is the best word, that I'm humbled that Source has chosen me to lead and hold space for conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneurs so that together we can overcome the blocks that have held us back, step into our purpose, manifest abundance through it, and create heaven on earth together, literally. And what an honor for all of us to be in this together. Because of course, no man is an island. It takes a village, and I would not be here if it were not for you. So I am so deeply grateful. So I just wanted to take that moment to say what a blessing it is, what an honor it is to be the vessel for this channel to move through. So I wanted to talk to you today about New Year's resolutions and let you know I am not a fan. I don't do them anymore. I used to. And of course, like many, they last for a month or two and then they kind of fall off. And what I find interesting is I've always been a goal-oriented person, a high achiever, probably suffered from, perfectionist syndrome at one time. And yet New Year's resolutions were never successful. And what I find interesting is that they don't work. And yet I am consistently setting goals, that there are always, goals running in the background. There's no lack of goals, no lack of high, fast moving targets, right? Shoot the moon, land on the stars kind of thing. And yet New Year's resolutions never worked out for me. And so I've not really meditated on the why of that. I just recognize they don't work and I don't need to put time or energy into that. What I did find was, one, it was a waste of effort, and it was a waste of emotional investment, right? That they set us up for failure and often lead to disappointment in ourselves. And that can create sort of a spiral into self-deprecation or toxic self-blame. I really did not find anything positive around setting a goal specifically on this day to be sustained throughout the year. And if you're part of this community, I'm a big fan of really tapping into guidance and getting clear on what I'm being asked to do in the moment, really dancing to the music of the energy that is current, and being willing to let go of things when they are no longer serving us. And to arbitrarily say that this one goal that I set on the 1st of January should last the entire 365 days is really not in the same vein of that willingness to listen to the support, listen to the guidance, listen to your body, listen to your emotions, to your needs, right? To be present. And especially now more than ever, with the energy shifting and changing faster than ever before, it would be silly to think or to expect, right? Reasonable expectations, something we talked about recently too. It would be unreasonable for us to expect that these arbitrary dates are going to be something that we're going to be able to sustain one goal through, or that it's going to serve us for that entire time. So this whole channel is about everything that I've experienced, everything that I have learned and grown through, and everything that has supported me in my journey and helped pull me out of that place of the dark night of the soul, the depression, the anxiety, the confusion over why I couldn't make this life that they said I should be able to achieve happiness through work, right? So that this is, again, in that same vein. This is something I've experienced. I'm just here sharing with you what works for me. Okay, hold on just a second here. Kiddos in the background. Gotta love Christmas vacation. So anyways, having ongoing goals means that we have goals that are ebbing and flowing, they're shifting and changing, but we always have sort of an idea of where we're going. I really like the analogy or the image of sort of the goalposts. You know, a large soccer goal is a very large area for us to shoot our ball into, right? That we have plenty of wiggle room to figure out, do we want to go in on the left corner or the right corner, right? We generally know the direction of where we're trying to go. I am very much a goal-oriented person. I feel sort of lost if I don't know what we're driving towards. So again, this is personal for me. You always need to figure out who you are, study yourself, identify yourself, watch the Know Thyself video that is really critical in understanding what's important to you and what drives you and what you're driving towards. But once you sort of have that general understanding of where the goalposts are, what are you driving towards, then you can start to set more specific goals. I love the acronym SMART goals because it helps you put structure around the goal. It's not just saying, I want to make a lot of money someday. You need to be able to say, I understand the exact specific goal. I understand how I'm going to measure whether or not I have achieved it. I know that it is attainable, right? I'm not being Pollyannish. I have reasonable expectations, right? And I also understand that it's relative to the overarching goal and it's time bound, right? And I will say the time-bound piece, of course, requires some flexibility. It's important to put a date or time on the paper so that you have something to measure yourself against. But also, again, being a conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneur means we're always checking in for guidance. We're always available for evolution, the process of alchemy, the soup that we are making that is your life, that is your purpose, is going to require that organic ability to flex and to shift, right? Having a background in the corporate world and product development, for a long time, there was this linear path of product development. You had all these milestones, you had the 5-year roadmap, you had to accomplish one thing before you moved to the next. And then came software development and more agile development. And what that means is instead of everything being linear, it is more circular. And that actually is more representative of how energy moves. If you notice 2 steps forward, 1 step back, it's sort of that feeling of, I've been here before, I thought we were over it, we're revisiting it, but really you've come a little bit farther, and 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still progress forward. If you look at the way time and energy seem to move, it's more spiral. So when you look at agile development, it makes more sense. It's more conducive to the environment we're in right now. And what that means is you will set a SMART goal that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And then you will take that step, take steps towards it, and look at sort of your minimum viable product, right? Your minimum viable next milestone or measurement of accomplishment. And you'll look at it and reevaluate the SMART goal, reevaluate all of those different aspects, and look at, does the time need to change? Does the assumption that this product or service or goal was established on, does that need to shift and change? What I have created, is it serving the population that I am trying to serve? And if not, how do we shift and change that? Right? I'm getting into the weeds here, so we'll come back up to the high level of why we don't set New Year's resolutions, right? So just consistently have those SMART goals, be willing to evolve and adapt. Again, be in that constant Marco Polo game with your God, source, divine creator, universe, whoever you want to call them, and by whatever name, it does not matter. A rose by any other name still smells as sweet. All right. And then one thing I love to do too is journaling at this time of year, really taking stock of the past. And I, of all people, am guilty of sort of having that mentality of, you know, the meditation or the journaling, and I'll say historically, right? We're reprogramming these neural pathways, but those things that feel good that I love to do are not moving us towards our goal, and really they do. And so taking that time for journaling, taking that time for taking stock of the past is beneficial. It will move us forward. and it will create a better, more conducive environment internally, as well as more energy. When you start to look at the past and say, wow, look at how far we've come. Look at how much we have accomplished. It can really help us start to feel good about what we have accomplished, because as high achievers, as entrepreneurs, as perfectionists, especially if you're dealing with the complex trauma or the programming or the conditioning of not enoughness or unworthiness or whatever those beliefs are that have held you back historically, those can cause us to discredit what we have done. Yeah. We've come so far. But when you sit down and journal about it and look at, where was I this time last year? Where was I this time 5 years ago? Where was I this time 10 years ago? It is amazing how much, and I keep using the word accomplished and it's not quite feeling right, how much we've shifted and changed, how much we have grown, how much we've overcome, how competent we are. And confidence comes from competence. And if we're not taking stock of all that we have moved through and overcome, then we're foregoing some of our confidence or competence, right? It's important. It is valuable. It is very motivating to be able to take that time to see, wow, we really have done a lot. And actually there is a healthy biological response when you give yourself a pat on the back or the high five in the mirror, like Mel Robbins likes to recommend, that there is biological chemistry that is generated in your body that again will create motivation and confidence and help you move forward faster. So look at how far you have come, look at how much you've changed, look at what you've overcome, and then consider loosely who you would like to become. Now, I had sort of this idea, and I believe it was likely an egoic idea, that I should write a plan on how I want to reinvent myself in 2023. And part of this was stemming from a few healthy habits that I want to implement. I want to really continue the detoxification process and really eliminating the last bits of toxicity in my life. And that was coming from guidance and source. But then, of course, the ego wanted to take it a step farther. And there is something to be said for killing your alter ego or killing off this version of yourself that no longer serves you. There is something to be said for, especially if you're dealing with complex trauma, the version of us that the world created is very different than who we were designed to be. And understanding who we were meant to be before the world changed us can really help clarify those goalposts, right? It can help us see how we come from a heart-led place, how we live from our soul and our true core nature versus how we have habitually continued some of these things that were coping mechanisms or designed to help us survive in that toxic environment that no longer exists. And it may exist to some extent for you, but also just remember that that is an echo of the past version of you. That is not evidence of what your future must become or will continue to be. And I want to say that again, because that's so critically important. As you look around at yourself even and your current behaviors or your current environment, your external environment, and you see things in yourself or in others or in the environment that you don't care for, look at those as an echo of the past, not evidence of your future. And so what that means is, as we've moved through the conditioning, the programming, the trauma that has held us back historically, or even the coping mechanisms that have been our necessary crutch to get through those difficult times, those are the past. Those can be left in the past. Now, if you are still moving through the toxic environment, or you still have, people, places, or things in your life that are not serving you, you are still in the process of weeding that out. It still is evidence of, that echo of the past versus being your future. And so just remember that we need to, and I want to get into what we need to, let me put it back into how I experienced it, right? That the the habits. Maybe it was alcohol, maybe it was caffeine, maybe it was, binging on social media or impulsive shopping, that those things were there to help me cope with the toxic relationship or the lack of boundaries or the soul-sucking job, the corporate environment that I could no longer stand, that I had yet to come to a place where I was willing to step out of those things and step into this new life. And once I did that, once I've come to a place where I'm in a safe home, I have full and complete control over my environment. I'm in a loving, safe environment. It is healthy and conducive to supporting me, my purpose, my mission, my goals, my children, all of my priorities. Then, and only then, do I get to say, okay, now going forward, the things that I start to see in my life can be evidence of the future. And those things that are still in my life that I no longer feel serve me are still continued echoes of the past, that it takes time, it takes years for us to weed out all of the different beliefs and mindsets and things that will continue to hold us back. So I'm getting a little on the long side. I'll wrap it up here, but I just want to remind you that what has to happen, not what has to happen, what has worked for me is in the past when I said, that's it, I'm done. I'm done with the toxic relationship. I'm done with the soul-sucking job. I'm done with the unhealthy environment in my home, all those things. I'm done with the toxicity in my body. I'm done with anything that is not assisting in self-actualization, in accomplishing the purpose, my mission, the reason I'm here. And it's time to really step it up. So if you are still in that place where you're not able to shift out of these environments that are not helping you and you're wanting to move forward, but you're not quite sure how, one tip for you: in your journal or say it out loud, however you feel is most solidifying for you, declare, God, source, divine, creator, universe, in this moment, here and now, I commit to my purpose. I commit to living a guided life. I commit to whatever it is that I was designed for, whatever it is that I am here to do. Show me how to do it. I am committed. And get ready, buckle your seatbelt, because things will start to fall into place. And sometimes that can look like things falling apart. If you're in a relationship and it's toxic and you need that to go, it will fall away. If you're in a soul-sucking corporate job and you're done, you know you need to move into your purpose, you're ready, you don't know what it looks like, you might lose your job. You might not. So don't get scared. But if that's the thing that's holding you back, then face that fear and run headlong into the fear, because on the other side of the fear is the dream, is the purpose, is the fulfillment, is the peace, the joy, the passion, the wealth, the abundance, the freedom. Everything you seek is on the other side of your fears and in the vein of your purpose. So this is far longer than the really quick New Year's message that I thought I was going to bring you, but I just want to say this is a good time. This is a good time. Numerologically, we all shift and change from a collective 6-year into a collective 7-year, and then you will have your own personal year, which you can figure out by adding your birth date to your birth month to the current year, and then distilling that until you get a single digit. So just keep adding those numbers together. If you don't know how to do that, Google it. You'll find it pretty quickly. But things do shift and change in the new year, especially numerologically, which will mean a different theme for you personally. All right. Didn't plan on it being that long. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how your New Year's reflections and ongoing SMART goals are going for you. If you do need any assistance in either overcoming the trauma or the conditioning that has held you back from identifying your purpose or manifesting abundance through it, which means in some cases a physical job or an online job, business job, not sure why I use that word, job. We're done with that. Anywho, I offer courses and coaching to help you heal the trauma. I do something called brain spotting, or also known as trauma spotting through source tapping, which is sort of my own version where I combine energy healing. We will help you remove the blocks that hold you back from your purpose so that you can step into your purpose and manifest abundance through it, helping us create heaven on earth. All right. I love you, my friends. Namaste. Happy New Year. I love you so, so, so much. It's going to be a beautiful year, and sending lots of love and blessings. Namaste.